They came from the stars. The Velkar Dominion had once ruled Earth long ago, but they left the planet, thinking humans would never rise again. For centuries, Earth struggled, rebuilt, and grew stronger. The Velkar had forgotten about humans. But humans had not forgotten about them. Their massive fleet returned. Hundreds of ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Their black, sharp ships floated like silent shadows, blocking the stars. The Velkar came to reclaim what they believed was theirs. They saw Earth as a lost colony that must return to their rule. In Earth's orbit, Captain Jason Cole stood on the bridge of his ship, Liberty Dawn. The large windows showed the endless space and the approaching alien fleet. The screens were flashing with alerts, but Jason stayed calm. His blue eyes moved quickly as he read the incoming reports. His crew waited for his orders. Jason turned to Olivia Brooks, his science officer. She was focused on the data coming from their scanners. Olivia was calm, but her face was serious. She knew this was not an ordinary threat. The Velkar were not like other alien groups. They were powerful, old, and ruthless. How many ships do you see? Jason asked. Over 200, Captain, Olivia answered. And more entering the system every minute. Jason took a breath. He had prepared for this day for years, but now it was real. Earth had advanced greatly in the last 100 years. They had powerful ships, strong weapons, and brilliant minds. But the Velkar were still dangerous. Send the alert to all defense fleets, Jason ordered. All ships move to defensive positions. No one fires unless I give the order. Yes, Captain, Olivia said as she relayed the command. On the ground, the leaders of Earth gathered in the Global Defense Center. Large screens showed the enemy fleet moving closer. President Lavra Bennett stood in front of the military commanders and top scientists. Her face was calm, but her voice was firm. They think we are still weak. They made a mistake. We will show them that humans are not the same as before, Lavra said. Commander Aaron Blake, leader of the ground forces, nodded. His soldiers were ready for any landing attempts. He knew the Velkar might try to send troops to the surface. His men were trained, well-armed, and full of courage. Every human was ready to fight. The Velkar sent a message. A tall alien with gray skin, glowing yellow eyes, and a long robe appeared on the screen. This was High Overlord Zeren, leader of the Velkar fleet. People of Earth, Zeren spoke in a deep, cold voice. You are nothing but a lost colony of the Velkar Dominion. We have returned to reclaim what belongs to us. Surrender now, and your people will live. Resist, and you will face complete destruction. Jason stood straight on the bridge as the message played. He did not answer right away. He wanted to send a clear message to the Velkar and to his own people. He pressed the button to respond. This is Captain Jason Cole of Earth Defense Fleet. This is not your world. We are free and we will stay free. Leave now or face the strength of humanity. The message ended. There was silence for a moment. Then the Velkar ships started to move again. They are preparing for attack, Olivia said, reading the screens. Their weapons are charging. Jason nodded. He looked at his crew. Every person on the bridge was ready. They had trained for this moment. They all knew the price of freedom. All ships, hold position, Jason ordered. We will not fire first. The Velkar ships formed a wide circle around Earth's fleet. Their weapons were powerful plasma cannons, but they did not know Earth's full strength. The humans had developed advanced shields and weapons based on alien technology. What the Velkar had once left behind had helped humans grow stronger than they could imagine. On the surface, families watched the news with worried eyes. Parents held their children close. Old men and women prayed. But deep inside, everyone believed. In their defenders, Earth had faced many threats before. This was the greatest one yet, but humanity was united. In the military bunkers, soldiers checked their weapons and vehicles. Tanks, walkers, and aircraft stood ready. Drones flew in the sky, scanning for any enemy dropships. Aaron walked among his troops, his voice loud and clear. We fight for every child, every mother, every brother and sister. If they come to our ground, they will regret it, Aaron said. Megan Hart, one of the young corporals, looked at the sky. She was ready to do whatever it took. Like many others, she had lost family during past conflicts. She would not lose her home. In space, the Velkar fleet finally made its move. A group of their ships fired the first shots. Bright plasma bolts raced through space, heading toward Liberty Dawn and its sister ships. Shields up, Jason shouted. The energy shields absorbed most of the blasts, but a few shook the ships. The crew stayed steady. Jason gave his next command without hesitation: return fire. Earth's fleet responded with precision. Their weapons were fast railguns and energy cannons that could fire at extreme range. Several Velkar ships were hit directly. One of the enemy cruisers exploded into pieces. The humans had aimed for weak points that the Velkar never thought possible. On the Velkar flagship, Zaran watched in shock as his ships were struck down. How did they know our weak points? Zaren hissed. His officers had no answer. Back on Liberty Dawn, Olivia smiled slightly as she watched the data. Their designs are based on old models, Captain. Our engineers have studied them for years. We know where to hit. Good work, Olivia, Jason said. Let's keep the pressure. The first battle lasted for hours. The Velkar had greater numbers, but the humans fought with skill, speed, and knowledge. They used new tactics, confusing the enemy. Stealth ships attacked from unexpected angles. Drones disabled enemy sensors. AI systems controlled the targeting with perfect aim. By the time the Velkar pulled back to regroup, they had lost many ships. The humans had only minor damage. Jason looked at the battle map. This was only the beginning. The Velkar would not give up so easily. But now they knew that Earth would not fall without a fight. Prepare for the next wave, Jason said. They will. Send more. Olivia looked at him. Captain, if they bring in reinforcements, we might need to strike first before they regroup. Jason nodded. He had been thinking the same thing. Earth had the chance to send a message not only to the Velkar but to the entire galaxy. We will show them why you don't mess with humans. The silence after the first battle was heavy. The stars stood still, but everyone knew the fight was not over. The Velkar had pulled back, but only to prepare for a bigger attack. Their pride was wounded. Their commanders would not accept defeat. So easily, on the bridge of Liberty Dawn, Captain Jason Cole stood before the wide window, looking at the darkness beyond. His crew worked quietly, watching the enemy fleet regroup at the edge of the solar system. The Velkar were bringing more ships through the jump gates. Dozens of new warships appeared one after another, surrounding their damaged fleet. Jason spoke calmly to his science officer. Olivia, how many ships do we count now? Over 300, Captain, Olivia answered without raising her voice. They have doubled their force, Jason nodded slowly. He had expected this. The Velkar always believed in overwhelming force. But numbers were not everything. Humans had other advantages. Send a message to Admiral Thompson on the Second Fleet. Tell him to move into flanking position behind the moon. We will not wait for them to attack. Yes, Captain, Olivia replied. On the ground, Commander Aaron Blake was also preparing his forces. The ground defenses were fully activated. Energy shields covered the major cities. Anti-air systems were loaded and ready. Soldiers moved like clockwork. They had trained for this moment many times. Aaron stood before his men. The Velkar think they can land troops on our soil. They will try to take our homes. We will not let that happen. Every soldier here knows what is at stake. If they come, they will leave in pieces. The soldiers cheered. Their faces were hard with determination. Megan Hart, standing among the soldiers, checked her gear one last time. Her pulse was steady. She knew the Velkar would come soon. She whispered to herself. Let them come. Back in space, the Velkar prepared their next move. High Overlord Zaren paced inside his command ship. His yellow eyes glowed as he spoke to his officers. The humans are more dangerous than we thought, Zaren growled. But they cannot stop us forever. Bring in the heavy carriers. Begin planetary assault. We will crush their defenses from orbit and land-ground forces. His officers obeyed. Huge carriers moved forward. Dropships loaded with troops and war machines gathered in the lower hangars. Plasma cannons on their capital ships. Charged for another round of bombardment. Jason watched from Liberty Dawn, his tactical officer gave the report. They are preparing for orbital strikes and ground invasion. Captain. Jason turned to Olivia. Is the stealth wing ready? They're waiting for your command, Captain, Olivia answered. Jason gave a small nod. Launch the stealth wing. Target their carriers before they can deploy troops. Far from the main battle, hidden in the shadow of an asteroid belt, Earth's stealth ships waited. These ships were small, fast, and nearly invisible to enemy sensors. Once they received Jason's order, they activated and moved like silent hunters. Within minutes, the first Velkar carrier came under attack. The stealth ships fired precise shots at weak spots in the carrier's armor. Explosions tore through its engines. The giant ship lost power and began to drift. Another carrier was hit next. The Velkar were caught off guard, unable to locate the attackers. High Overlord Zeren slammed his fist against the control panel. Where are these attacks coming from? Find them. His officers struggled to track the stealth ships. Their old sensor systems were no match for human technology. At the same time, Earth's main fleet moved into position. Admiral Thompson's ships came from behind the moon, catching the Velkar off balance. Earth's fleet formed a pincer, attacking from two sides. Jason's voice filled the communication channels. All ships, focus fire on their command ships. Break their lines. The battle turned into chaos. Lasers and plasma bolts lit up space. Earth ships used fast, unpredictable moves, while the Velkar tried to fight using old patterns. The humans had studied Velkar battle tactics for years. They knew how to counter every move. One of the Velkar dreadnoughts exploded as multiple shots hit its core. Debris spread across space. Another cruiser lost its engines and drifted helplessly. On Liberty Dawn, Olivia monitored the battle closely. Their formation is breaking, Captain. We are pushing them back. Jason stayed focused. Do not give them time to regroup. Press forward. The Velkar fleet began to retreat again, but this time they had suffered heavy losses. Many of their largest ships were destroyed or disabled. On the ground, Aaron received a message from Jason. The Velkar are pulling back for now, but they may still try to land ground forces. Aaron nodded. Understood. We will be ready. Suddenly, alarms rang across the ground command center. Dropships detected, one officer shouted. Aaron looked at the screen. Several Velkar dropships had broken through the defense net and were heading toward the planet. They were attempting a fast landing before their fleet lost complete control of the battle. Deploy the interceptors, Aaron ordered. All ground forces to their stations. Let's make them regret this. Fighter jets launched into the sky, intercepting some of the dropships. Missiles struck several before they could land, but a few managed to reach the surface. In the forests outside a city, one group of Velkar troops landed. Tall, armored aliens stepped out of the dropships, carrying heavy plasma weapons. Their commander barked orders in their harsh language. Spread out. Take control of the area. Megan Hart and her squad were already moving through the trees, using cover and silent communication. They knew the terrain better than the invaders. She whispered to her squad. Wait for my signal. The Velkar patrol moved forward, unaware of the humans hiding nearby. When they entered the clearing, Megan gave the signal. The humans opened fire with precision. Bullets and plasma rounds struck the Velkar soldiers before they could react. The few that tried to fight back were quickly overwhelmed. Megan moved forward, leading her squad with steady hands. She fired at a Velkar officer, dropping him with one shot. Clear, she said. Keep moving. In other parts of the planet, similar battles were happening. Earth's ground forces were using speed, tactics, and knowledge of their land to outfight the invaders. Back in space, High Overlord Zeren watched in disbelief. His fleet was broken. His ground forces were trapped. His pride was shattered. How can this be? Zeren hissed. They are only humans. On Liberty Dawn, Jason watched the enemy's retreat. His crew cheered, but Jason remained serious. They will come again, but now they know. We are not the same weak race they once ruled. Olivia looked at the screens. Captain, other alien species are watching this battle. The whole galaxy is seeing what we are doing. Jason nodded. Let them watch. Let them all understand. This is Earth, and we do not bow. The battle was not yet over, but the message was clear. The Velkar had made a terrible mistake. They had come to reclaim Earth, but now they were learning why no one should mess with humans. The Velkar fleet was broken, but not defeated. High Overlord Zaren stood inside his command ship, his eyes burning with anger. He had lost many ships, and his ground forces were now trapped on Earth's surface. This was not how he expected the battle to go. His pride was wounded, and his voice was full of rage. "Bring the rest of our forces," he shouted. "We will crush them with everything we have, no more holding back." No more games. His officers quickly sent the orders. Far across space, more Velkar. Fleets prepared to enter Earth's solar system. Reinforcements gathered at the jump gates. The Velkar were ready to use their full strength. On Earth, Captain Jason Cole watched the new data come in. On the bridge of Liberty Dawn, Olivia Brooks read the numbers from her screen. "Captain, they are calling for their full battle groups. We estimate 500 ships will enter the system within the next few days." Jason listened carefully. He had expected this. The Velkar could not accept defeat. But he also knew Earth was ready for this fight. "We knew they would do this," Jason said. "That is why we have our next plan ready." In the Global Defense Center, President Laura Bennett spoke to her military advisors. The situation was dangerous, but she remained strong. "We must not only defend," she said. "We must strike at the heart of their fleet before they gather full strength." Jason appeared on the large screen. "Madam President, our engineers have prepared the new prototypes. The stealth cruisers are ready. If we move now, we can take out their command ships before the full fleet arrives." President Bennett nodded. "Proceed. Make sure they understand that Earth does not wait for its enemies." Jason turned to Olivia. "Prepare the strike teams, the stealth cruisers were Earth's secret weapon. Built using technology taken from old Velkar ruins, they were faster and deadlier than anything the Velkar had seen. They could hide from sensors, attack silently, and strike with deadly precision. Far beyond the moon, the stealth cruisers gathered. Each one carried a small team of elite soldiers and AI-guided weapons. They would attack the Velkar before the reinforcements could fully arrive. Jason spoke to the team leaders through secure channels. "This mission is dangerous, but you are the best. Hit their command ships. Leave their fleet leaderless. This is our chance." The ships moved like shadows through space. The Velkar had no idea they were coming. Inside the lead stealth cruiser, Daniel Price led his team. He checked his weapon one. Last time, his team was silent, focused on the task. They knew what was at stake. "Stay sharp," Daniel said. "We go in, strike fast, and get out." The stealth cruisers slipped past the enemy patrols. They moved into position near the main Velkar command group. The large enemy ships floated like giants in space, but their size made them easy targets. "Fire!" Jason's voice came through. The stealth cruisers opened fire. Precision missiles struck the Velkar command ships. Explosions lit up the dark space. One after another, the Velkar leadership ships were destroyed before they could react. High Overlord Zoran's second-in-command was killed instantly as his ship exploded. Other commanders shouted in confusion, trying to understand what was happening. "Where are they?" Zoran yelled. "How are they doing this?" The Velkar fleet fell into disarray. Without their leaders, many ships hesitated. Some tried to flee. Others fired blindly into the dark, hoping to hit the invisible attackers. Back on Liberty Dawn, Olivia smiled as she watched the live data. "Their command structure is broken." Captain Jason gave a firm nod. "Good. Now we press the advantage. Send." In the second fleet, clean up what's left. Earth's second fleet moved in with full force. Admiral Thompson led the attack, his ships sweeping through the confused Velkar fleet. Earth's ships targeted the weaker ships first, breaking their formation further. In a few hours, most of the Velkar reinforcements were destroyed or disabled. Debris floated everywhere. Fires burned inside the broken ships. The once mighty Velkar fleet had been torn apart. Jason stood on the bridge, watching the victory unfold. His crew cheered, but Jason stayed calm. "They will remember this day," he sighed. "But the fight is not over yet. On the surface, the remaining Velkar ground forces were trapped. Commander Aaron Blake led the final operations to clear them out. Aaron stood with Megan Hart as they watched the captured Velkar soldiers being marched into secure camps. The prisoners looked defeated. Their armor was damaged and their weapons had been taken. Megan spoke quietly. They thought we would be easy. Pray. Aaron nodded. They forgot who they were dealing with. As the last of the Velkar forces were captured or killed, peace slowly returned to the ground. Families came out of shelters. The people cheered as they saw Earth soldiers marching through the streets. Victorious. In the Global Defense Center, President Bennett addressed the world. Today, humanity has shown its strength. We faced an ancient enemy and stood as one. We fought not only for our homes, but for our future. Let this be a message to all who watch. Earth is free, and Earth will remain free. The broadcast spread across the planet and far into space. Other alien species watched in silence. Some feared. Some respected. All understood one truth. Earth was no longer a weak world. Inside his damaged command ship, High Overlord Zaren sat in silence. His fleet was gone. His forces were captured. His dreams of conquest had turned into a nightmare. A young officer approached him. High Overlord, we have lost everything. What are your orders? Zaren did not answer for a long time. Finally, he spoke in a cold voice. We underestimated them. We will not make that mistake again, but deep inside, even Zaren knew that his time was over. The Velkar Dominion had fallen, and the humans had risen. On Liberty Dawn, Jason received new reports from Olivia. Captain, we are receiving signals from other civilizations. They want to open talks with Earth. Jason looked out at the stars. Good, let them come. They have seen what happens when someone tries to take what is ours. Earth's victory was more than just a battle won. It was the beginning of a new chapter. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. The message was clear. Do not mess with humans. The Velkar had been defeated in space, but their fight was not over. Some of their troops still moved on Earth's surface. High Overlord Zaren refused to accept his loss. He sent orders for one last attack, hoping to break Earth's defenses. Captain. Jason Cole was not surprised. He knew the Velkar would try to strike back in any way they could. On the Liberty Dawn, Jason gathered his senior officers. We have to prepare for ground attacks, he said. The enemy may try to hit us where it hurts. Olivia Brooks studied the data on her screen. They are moving dropships to remote locations. Small groups of soldiers will try to sabotage our cities and military bases. Jason's eyes narrowed. Then we stop them before they get close. Send patrols to every possible landing area. No one gets through. On the ground, Commander Aaron Blake organized his forces. His soldiers had cleared most of the Velkar troops from the cities, but the enemy was now changing tactics. Instead of large groups, they sent small squads to sneak into towns and attack from inside. These were dangerous missions, Aaron spoke to his lieutenants. We can't let them spread fear. Every village, every town must be protected. Use all resources. Track down the enemy and destroy them. Megan Hart led one of the squads assigned to a small town near the mountains. Her team moved quietly through the trees. They carried special sensors to detect enemy movements. Suddenly, a small group of Velkar soldiers appeared. They moved fast, hiding behind rocks and bush. Megan signaled her team to get ready. The Velkar tried to ambush them, but Megan's squad was prepared. They fired first, taking down 2 of the enemy. The rest ran for cover. Megan ordered a chase. They caught the Velkar near a river. After a short fight, all enemy soldiers were captured or killed. Megan looked around. This was only one group, but there were many more out there. Back at the military base, Aaron watched the news reports. Civilians were scared by stories of Velkar attacks. Some began to doubt the safety of their homes. Aaron called for a public message. We will protect every person. The Velkar will not break our spirit. Stay calm, stay strong. The message was sent to every screen in the country. At the same time, in space, Captain Jason received urgent news. Captain, Olivia said, our sensors detected a strange signal from the Velkar command ship. It looks like they are trying to communicate. Jason frowned. Put it on the main screen. The image of High Overlord Zeren appeared. His face was bruised, but his eyes burned with fury. Humans, he said, you have won battles, but the war is not over. I offer a chance for peace. Surrender your defenses, and I will spare your planet. Jason looked at his officers. This is a trick. They want us to lower our guard. Olivia nodded. Their signal is unstable. It might be a trap. Jason turned to the screen. Hi. Overlord Zeren, we have seen your lies and your attacks. Earth will never surrender. If you want peace, come and talk as equals. Until then, prepare for battle. Zoran's face twisted in anger. The screen went dark. Jason turned to Olivia. Prepare. Our defenses. They may try to attack during the talks. Olivia typed quickly on her console. Our AI predicts a high chance of ambush. We should stay alert. Jason looked at his crew. We fight to protect Earth. Let's make sure no one forgets that. Meanwhile, on the ground, Megan's squad received orders to move to a nearby city. Reports said that Velkar agents had entered and were causing trouble. When Megan's team arrived, they found the city in chaos. Buildings were damaged, and people ran through the streets in fear. Megan led her squad into the center. They searched for enemy fighters. In an abandoned building, they found Velkar soldiers hiding with weapons. Megan gave the order to surround the building. Her team moved quietly and carefully. When the Velkar soldiers tried to escape, Megan's squad was ready. A short fight ended quickly with the enemy defeated. The people of the city cheered when they heard the news. Megan smiled, but she knew the war was far from over. At the Global Defense Center, President Lavra Bennett prepared to meet with diplomats from other worlds. News of Earth's victory over the Velkar had spread, and many wanted to discuss new alliances. Lavra stood in front of the delegation. Her voice was strong. Earth will defend itself, but it also wants peace. We invite all who respect freedom and justice to join us. The delegates nodded, impressed by Earth's courage and strength. In the quiet of space, High Overlord Zeren plotted his next move. He could not afford to lose the war. His anger was deep, but so was his fear. He sent secret messages to hidden Velkar bases, calling for reinforcements and new weapons, but time was running out on Liberty Dawn. Jason received a report from Olivia. Captain, our scientists discovered something important on the Velkar command ship. Old research shows that the Velkar weapons rely on a power source that we can disrupt. Jason smiled. Then we have a way to end this. He called his commanders. We will strike their supply bases, cut off their power and weapons. This war will end soon. The fleet prepared for the attack. Megan and Aaron led their soldiers, ready to support the space forces. The final battle was coming. The humans were no longer just defending their home. They were taking the fight to their enemy. They would show the Velkar why Earth was not a prize to be taken. They would show the galaxy why humans were to be feared and respected. The Earth fleet moved quickly. Captain Jason Cole led the attack on the Velkar supply bases. These bases were far from the main battle areas, but critical for the Velkar's war effort. Destroying them would cut off the power to the Velkar weapons. And forces. Liberty Dawn and its squadron flew through space at high speed. The stars blurred outside the windows. Jason's voice was calm but strong. Prepare to strike. Target their main power generators. We end this today. Olivia Brooks worked with her science team, helping to guide the fleet to the best targets. She explained the importance of each base. These generators provide energy to their ships and weapons. If we destroy them, their attack power drops by 70%. Jason nodded. Then we hit them hard. The attack began with a series of precise strikes. Earth's ships fired missiles and energy blasts at the power plants. Explosions rocked the Velkar bases. The shields went down and fire spread on the ground. Commander Aaron Blake and Megan Hart prepared to support the fleet's strike. They led teams to take control of Velkar bases near Earth. Aaron spoke to his soldiers before the mission. This is our chance to end the war. We hit their supplies and their strength will break. Fight hard and keep your eyes open. Megan's team moved through the ruins of a Velkar outpost. The enemy had left behind weapons and machines. Megan checked her weapon and led her squad carefully. Suddenly, Velkar soldiers appeared, ready to fight back. The battle was fierce. Bullets and plasma bolts flew through the air. Megan's squad used their training and numbers to overpower the enemy. The Velkar fought hard, but they were tired and low on supplies. After the fight, the humans took control of the base. They sent signals to the fleet confirming their success. In space, Jason watched the battle unfold. Earth's forces were pushing the Velkar back on all sides. Olivia's voice came over the COMMS. Captain, we detected a large Velkar warship approaching. It looks like their new weapon platform. Jason frowned. Prepare for defense. This could be their last chance. The large Velkar ship moved toward Liberty Dawn. It was heavily armored and carried new weapons that could destroy multiple ships at once. Jason ordered his fleet to form a strong defense around Liberty Dawn. The battle was about to become intense. The Velkar ship fired powerful energy waves that struck Earth's fleet. Some ships were damaged, but the shields held strong. Jason gave the order, return fire. Focus all weapons on that ship. Earth's fleet concentrated their attacks. Missiles and energy blasts hit the Velkar ship's armor. Slowly, the enemy ship weakened. On Liberty Dawn, Jason and Olivia coordinated the attack. Olivia studied the enemy's shield patterns. Captain, their shield has a weak point near the rear engines. If we hit it, we can stop their movement. Jason nodded. Target the rear engines. The fleet fired with precision. The enemy ship's engines exploded in a ball of fire. It lost control and drifted helplessly. Jason ordered a final strike. Destroy the ship. The Velkar warship exploded, sending debris into space. The enemy fleet's morale dropped. High Overlord Zoran's face appeared on the screens again. His voice was low and angry. You fight well, humans. But this is not over. Jason replied. This is the end for you, Zoran. The battle continued, but the Velkar were losing. Their power was broken. Their forces were scattered on the ground. Aaron and Megan worked with other soldiers to capture or destroy the remaining Velkar troops. Cities and towns were safe again. Megan looked at the sky, thinking about the long fight. She felt proud of what they had done. But she also knew peace was not simple back on Liberty Dawn. Jason received a call from President Lavra Bennett. Captain, congratulations. The Velkar forces are retreating. Earth has won this war. Jason smiled. Thank you, Madam President, but we must stay alert. Other enemies may come. Lavra nodded. We will be ready. Earth is stronger than ever. Jason looked out the window at the stars. The battle had been hard. Many lives were lost. But humans had shown the galaxy their true strength. Olivia came beside him. Captain, the scientists say we have learned much from this war. Our technology has improved. Our people have grown stronger, Jason said. This is only the beginning. Earth will never be weak again. In distant places, other alien races watched Earth's victory. Some feared the rising power. Others respected the courage and skill of humans. High Overlord Zoran was captured and held prisoner. He thought about his mistakes. He had come to reclaim Earth, but found a world that refused to be taken. The humans had changed the future of the galaxy. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. Jason knew this war would be remembered for generations. It was a new era. An era where humans stood tall and proud. An era where no one would dare to mess with humans. The Velkar fleet was gone. Their leaders were captured or dead. The survivors fled into deep space, broken and defeated. Earth had won a great war. But victory was only the start of a new challenge. Captain Jason Cole stood on the Bridge of Liberty. Dawn, looking at the stars, the battle had tested everything. His crew had fought bravely. His mind was full of plans for the future. Olivia Brooks approached him. She held a report from the science team. Captain, many worlds are now contacting us. They want to meet to talk about peace and alliances. Jason nodded. He had expected this. The galaxy had watched Earth's fight with interest and fear. Now, other species wanted to know more. The president called for a meeting of Earth's leaders and representatives from other planets. The goal was clear: to build a new order based on respect and strength. President, Lavra Bennett spoke to the crowd. Earth has faced a great threat and stood strong. Now we invite those who seek peace to join us. Together we can protect our worlds and build a better future. The delegates from many planets nodded. They had seen what happened when the Velkar tried to conquer Earth. They knew humans were powerful and not to be ignored. In the quiet corners of space, old enemies watched closely. Some feared Earth's rise. Others thought it a chance for new trade and peace. High Overlord Zeren sat in a prison cell. His anger had cooled into something like respect. He had underestimated humans. Now he knew they were different. One guard asked him, "What will you do now?" Zaren looked up. "I will learn. And one day I may face them again. But next time I will be ready." Back on Earth, Commander Aaron Blake met with his soldiers. The war was over, but the work was not. "We must rebuild," Aaron told them. "Our people need homes, food, and safety." Megan Hart smiled. "We fought to protect the future. Now we build it." Cities rose again. Farms were planted. Families returned to their homes. Earth had faced its greatest challenge and had survived. Captain Jason met with Olivia and his senior officers. "What do we do next?" Olivia asked. "We prepare. The galaxy is watching. We show them what humanity is capable of." Jason's eyes shone. "We build alliances, yes, but we never forget our strength. We never bow." A new day dawned for Earth. The humans had fought enemies from the stars and had won. They had shown the galaxy why no one should mess with humans. The stars were brighter now. The future was wide open. And Earth was ready.